All right, hey everybody, Tuesday evening weather for Weather Geeks, the Valley's most in-depth weather video. We're going to take a look at some April numbers now that the month is officially in the books, and then we'll get to our busy, complicated forecast for the next several days. Here's a look at the temperatures compared to average for the entire month of April, minus today. Today's numbers are not included in this graphic, but they're going to not change the graphic that much. We ended up between 2 and 3 degrees warmer than average here in most of our area, and we shared in warmth along the eastern seaboard down into the southeast. A little cooler than average in the lower Mississippi Valley through Texas, the upper Midwest, and then the west was pretty warm compared to average this April. Now, I always like to do full disclosure on our long-range forecasts. How did this compare to what our April forecast was? We did this April forecast back on either March 31st or April 1st. Here's a look at the temperature forecast for April that we put out back then a month ago. It was okay. We got it locally pretty right, so we called for a warmer than average month. We were too warm up here, pretty good out west. This was okay. We caught, generally speaking, the little batch of cooler than average weather down here. Biggest miss was up here across the upper Midwest, but of course you're watching this video. Most of you are in the Youngstown area. That's what we care about the most. And where it counts, we had a pretty good monthly forecast for April, calling for a warmer than average month and a month much different than last April, which was a very, very chilly one. This year, the month did end on a cool note. The last 5 days have been cooler than average by at least a handful of degrees. Of course, our averages at this time of the year are in the mid-60s. So, yeah, we were below that today. Our warmest day of the month, let's see, that was 78 degrees back on the 18th. That's the closest we've come to 80. I think we're going to do a little bit better than that on the first day of May. Tomorrow, precipitation-wise, thanks to a pretty wet period lately, it ended up being wetter than average for the month of April. Precipitation, I should say, almost 4 inches at the Youngstown Warren Airport. We've had measurable precipitation now for 6 consecutive days, and really, you count them up, it's only 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 completely dry days in the month of April. So while the totals were not super crazy impressive, it was just the number of days in which it rained that was a little bit annoying this month. We would be much happier, I think, with a nice stretch of 5 or 6 straight dry days. That would do us a lot of good. It would make a lot of people happy. We did not have that today, though. We picked up 1/10 of an inch at the airport today, thanks to the rain that pushed through earlier. I'm not sure why my radar is not showing the rain before 3:10 this afternoon. Let's when I set this up, it was showing it. Seems like I have no data before 3 o'clock. Well, anyway, we had that rain that pushed through and came down at a decent clip for a few minutes in most spots, but it's long gone, and it's turned out to be a pretty nice evening. There's very little, if anything, off to our west. All this lightning and thunder, is going to miss us to the north overnight tonight. So I'm looking for a mostly dry night. I can't rule out a stray passing shower, but it's like a 10-20% chance kind of a thing. All right, we're missing out on a doozy of a severe weather outbreak today, from Texas up through parts of the high plains and into the Mississippi Valley as well. Already several confirmed tornadoes, and if you haven't seen that drone video of a tornado, I believe it was in Oklahoma earlier on today, go searching for that. It's all over Facebook and Twitter. It's definitely worth your time. It's not a super strong tornado, a pretty weak tornado in the middle of nowhere, but someone got a drone up very close to it and got some great footage, so check that out on social media. We may even have video of that tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock. So the severe weather episode continues. The highest risk from here on out in eastern Oklahoma, parts of southwestern Missouri as well, for more tornadoes and severe weather tonight. On the cold side of things, cold enough for wintry weather out west. Winter storm warnings, parts of the high plains and into the Rockies. This is all setting up along a front. The severe weather is anyway. Setting up along a front that is very, very sharp. Kind of like right here. Now, that front is yet to pass to the north of our area, which is why we were a little on the cool side today, while Cincinnati was pushing 80. But that front is going to lift north as a warm front over the next 12 hours, paying us dividends tomorrow. So the warmest day of the year so far coming up for tomorrow. Now, I've paused the video here late in the day, and this could even occur before our model is showing here, but starting around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, we might have to be on the lookout for stray shower and thunderstorm activity. The Storm Prediction Center does have the area highlighted in a low-end risk for severe weather tomorrow. Much like yesterday's low-end severe weather risk, it's low for a reason. I'm not real, optimistic, if you will, about our severe weather chances tomorrow. Gusty thunderstorm or two late in the day, Going to be a possibility, but all this is, kind of in the low range. If we are going to see a thunderstorm, by far and away the number one risk would be a damaging wind gust. Now, as we go, before we get to Thursday, let's talk about the temperatures real quick. Assuming we don't have any rain at the wrong time of day tomorrow, meaning like in peak heating, we'll have no trouble getting to 80 for the first time since October tomorrow. And again, it's been a long time since we've hit 80, and it's been a long time since we've had our first 80-degree temperature of the year occur this late in the season, at least 10 years. The latest in the last 10 years was 10 years ago, back in 2009, April 24th. So looks like May 1st will be the date this year. All right, now let's talk about Thursday. What we have going on Thursday is we're going to get clipped by one front in the morning, a cold front that really has very little cold air behind it. And then another warm front heads our way in the afternoon. I think the atmospheric ingredients, the dynamics are more favorable for strong thunderstorms on Thursday as compared to tomorrow, especially late in the afternoon into the evening. And this front will then kind of really put on the brakes, and that means more chances for wet weather, I think, on Friday, especially in the morning, and then even during parts of Saturday, we might see some lingering moisture. All right, the Storm Prediction Center currently has us highlighted in a low-end risk of severe weather on Thursday. I'm not going to be surprised if eventually we get upgraded to a slight risk, a category above that, kind of a 2 on the scale of 1 to 5. Right now we're a 1 out of 5. Wouldn't be surprised if we'll go up to a 2, which would put us in the slight risk category for Thursday. So here's how I have things as far as the risks go. Again, this is Thursday late in the afternoon into the evening. All these are more elevated than tomorrow's risks. I think with that warm front around, there's going to be some wind shear and possibility of some isolated tornadoes as well. All right, I tweeted about this earlier in case you missed it. The Climate Prediction Center, part of the National Weather Service, came out with their May outlook today on this final day of April, showing decent odds of above average temperatures in the eastern, roughly 1/3 of the country, kind of east of the Mississippi, including here. Cooler than average temperatures favored in the middle of the country, warm out west as well, in addition to the East Coast. As far as precipitation goes, their forecast shows a kind of a low chance of a wetter than average month, a higher odds of wetter than average out across the Mississippi Valley into the southern plains. I'm going to come out with my May forecast tomorrow. I'm showing you the government forecast here, and we'll see how mine compares to that. But right now, according to the Climate Prediction Center, it should be a warmer than average May and perhaps a wetter than average May as well. Last May was the warmest on record. I don't think we're going to come close to that this year, but I also don't think it's going to be a very cool May. And again, I'll have my forecast coming up for you on that first day of May tomorrow evening. Thanks for checking out tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. Have a great Tuesday night.